I'm Sam.
And I'm Greg.
We're human beings. And we like movies.
We'll be doing reviews of brand new releases,
Old classics,
entire sagas,
and even TV shows and video games.
This is Reaction Time.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 58 of Reaction Time Podcast.
Reaction Time.
We are here late at night after seeing Dune.
Not as late as Avatar.
Part 2. Not as late as Avatar. Thank goodness. We will be done in the same day that we started in, which is the good news. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Just so you all know, this movie just came out. We will be doing spoiler-free for the first portion of this. So stick around. We will definitely warn you when we get into spoilers. But,
and if this is your first time listening, we rate every movie out of 1,000. We also rate every movie out of 10, just to kind of give you the generic one.
So that people who are normal can understand.
Yeah. And then the movie snobs like us that are better than everybody.
Yeah. The actual film critics
the real
the
ones.
World.
We rate it out of 5 categories. There's story. Well,
you're
there's
just
visuals.
I mean, this doesn't
visuals,
matter.
Story, acting, score, and vibe.
Yep.
And each one's out of 200.
Yep.
Which equals up to 1,000.
Because movies are worth more than 10 points.
Boom.
Okay,
Why is that not our merch?
I got to make it. That's all. That's why. It's because I just need to type that onto a t-shirt.
Lame.
Craig.
Yes.
Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2.
Give me your thoughts.
Dude, the music. Oh my gosh.
Very good. Very, very good.
That's probably my favorite part of this whole movie.
Really?
Was the score.
The score and the sound design were
so good. The sound design of just like the freaking things that tap. And they go I was like, ooh.
There's a lot of sounds in this movie that this is kind of a phrase that has, I think, been going around TikTok. There's a lot of sounds that just kind of scratch your brain. They scratch an itch in your head somehow. It's
like somebody was looking through like basically like
binoculars,
opera
and
glasses. You heard them blinking.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was weird.
No,
but it was
great.
Cool.
It's great.
And the visuals.
So good.
Visuals were super good.
Yeah.
Story was cool. When we kind of talk about spoilers, I've read the book, so I'll kind of get into some of the differences. I didn't care that much about. There's a lot of differences in the book than in this movie. But overall, it was definitely more cohesive than the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I understood this way more than the first one. Even after watching the first one again, I still understood this one more. Yeah. But I think there's less setup in this one, I think, which makes it easier to follow.
Yeah.
What would you give this movie out of 10?
A 7.1.
Okay.
I was pretty bored.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Visuals amazing. Music incredible.
Yeah.
Acting was great. Story was fine, but there was so much just nothing. It felt like to me.
Okay.
So
I get that.
Good. I enjoyed it. Don't know if I'd watch it again though.
Okay.
That's where I'm trying to like wrap my brain around, like almost like the first part where I definitely didn't hate it as much as the first part.
Yeah.
But I guess I try to not like, get overhyped or everyone's like, this is the greatest movie of the year, type of thing. Maybe I let that get a little bit to me, I expected like Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
I guess, and I didn't get that at all.
Mm.
In ways, I got that. There was some really cool action sequences. There was some really cool stuff, but there was so much boringness in between. I mean, there was like, maybe 3-4 action sequences actually in this movie?
Yeah.
Like
hand-to-hand combat, maybe, There's a lot of explosions and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But
there were some cool explosions.
Yeah,
I guess maybe there was more than
mean.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
So I went into this movie. Here's the thing. I have no emotional attachment to Dune
I really don't either.
I could go into this. I went in this movie, and if it was going to be a 1, I would give it a 1.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't think twice about it.
yeah.
I went in with 0 expectations. The first movie, I remember I saw it in theaters, and then I just rewatched it, and that's all that I've seen of it. I remember after I watched it in theaters, I was like, that visually was really stunning, and I have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
But it looked really cool, so I got to give it props, right? So
Yeah.
I left, and I was like, I've said this to a lot of people, but I said, that movie could have had no dialogue, and I would have liked it just the same, maybe more. And so I went into this movie thinking, trailer looks cool. Looks like maybe there's a little bit more action. But if it sucks, right? I can't remember the last time that I was blown away by a movie like this.
Wow. Okay.
And I think most of that is visual still.
Oh, yeah.
But also, I just feel there was a lot of tension through the entire movie. So it kind of, I kind of felt tense the entire movie, which I like feeling that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Get Out, the whole entire movie kind of feel. And it's not that it was the same genre, but there's new discoveries, and they're kind of trying to reach this point in the movie, and you can feel them getting there.
It's almost an uneasiness to it.
Yeah, but I was just watching this movie, and every single scene, and I know people say that perfect CGI is when you don't think about it. I don't fully agree. I get the point, but I think perfect CGI is when you know that it's CGI because there's no giant worms in the world. So I know it's...
That we know of.
Right? So I know it's CGI. And I just looked at it and thought, nobody will ever make this any better than it is now.
No.
And there were so many scenes like that where I was like, this is the best CGI.
Yeah.
This is, hands down, and I will argue this to the ends of the earth, this is the best looking movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay.
This blew Avatar out of the water for me. Yeah.
Pun intended.
This blew it out of the sand. Absolute best looking movie I've ever seen in my entire life. In basically every single aspect.
Yeah. I guess I don't think it blew it out of the water.
Okay.
But I would say, I don't know, man. The amount of stuff they did in Avatar is just insane. I mean, if you think about it, basically take this movie, but then CGI everything and make it look good.
Yeah, but I think this movie probably had close to the same amount of CGI. Without us knowing. That's the thing.
It could have.
I think Avatar is like, oh yeah, really cool advancements in CGI, but it still looks CGI. It's good. It's good, but it still has the CGI feel to it.
Yeah.
Whereas this movie just doesn't.
Yeah.
Nothing.
There was 2 moments. There was one really off green screen that I noticed when he's kind of standing up.
Okay.
And it would pan to him in the background. It was like, oh, that's green screen.
Okay, I didn't notice that, but...
And then there was one part, and I can't quote me on this. I'd have to watch it again to know for sure. But there was a part where there was like a bunch of people coming out of like the sand. But it was like a side shot, and it looked like black people that were just like animated like in a straight line.
Okay.
Like not like they were moving. It was just like straight line.
Like
but
the accidental Polar Express guy.
Yeah, but you couldn't really see it because they were in sand.
Okay.
So can't quote me on that. I'm not going to dock it because I don't know for sure, but it caught my attention.
Okay.
I guess. Other than that, dude.
There's so many scenes that just
super good.
They really hit you. Here's the thing. This is one of the main things I love about this movie. The scale and scope, they just nailed. I feel like Avatar, especially the first one, did a good job. You know, you have the giant bulldozers. And you're like, cool. Like, these are so big. Dune does that, but so much better.
Yeah.
And you feel how big things are.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene where there's, I don't know, tens of thousands of people inside a building all packed together, and they just pan out and you can see all of them, and you just get this feeling of how big this place is. And they do so much of that, and it's like, oh, I've been wanting this from stuff. And I think maybe a part of why I'm loving this movie is a little bit of, I don't know if confirmation. No, it's not confirmation. What's it called? not confirmation bias. I can't remember. But it's basically like, because I haven't been getting this from Star Wars, which is what I want.
Yeah.
And this gave me the things that Star Wars has been missing.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit more like, oh yeah, this is like so awesome,
right.
So my initial thought of this movie is like 9.7.
Okay.
Which is, so I was ready to be like 6.
Oh yeah, no.
You know, looks great, but what?
Yeah.
But I really, really liked it.
So you weren't bored?
No, because I feel like everything they were doing was world building, which I know is a super blanket statement for a lot of people.
If you're into the world, that makes sense.
But I just feel like I was able to get into it way more than in the last one. I was like in it the entire movie.
Yeah.
I was just hyper focused.
It seemed like you were.
Yeah, and I was enjoying it so much. I felt like I was like learning, and it was really cool. And I didn't feel that way in the first one. I was like, oh, this looks great, but I don't give two flying farts about what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And in this one, for some reason, I did.
Okay.
So
I guess my thought is, if they cut an hour out of this movie, you could accomplish the exact same thing and it would have been 1,000 times better.
I thought about that too, because there was kind of this movie kind of had like 5 acts, but kind of in, the third or fourth act of 5, I did start to feel a little bit like there was too much substance, I guess. And so I started thinking, if they cut this out, what would it be? Right. And so I started, like I do with every movie I watched, I started thinking about Revenge of the Sith. Okay. And I thought, what's the difference between these two movies? Because I think to myself, this has a very, no spoilers here, in some ways, it's got a kind of similar plot almost to Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Kind of. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I thought, what if they had made Revenge of the Sith like this?
Oh, yeah.
What if this was a Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Would I want all of this extra just stuff?
Yeah.
And I would. So I have to think, are they making this more for casual viewer? Are they making this more for hoping people become diehard fans? Because there is and I know that there's a sweet spot too where you make movies that have all that world building, but it's not so long or so deep that people don't get it.
To me, that's like Lord of the Rings.
It's
like the perfect example of, there's a lot of world building in that movie, but it's not. But it's also very just anybody can watch it.
Because I would say that this leans a little bit more towards kind of the nerdy side of getting really long, really deep into things and kind of not over-explaining, but over-showing different aspects of stuff. So
this almost felt like an extended edition. For me, this felt like an extended edition where I would have liked it if I'd seen the condensed version first. You see Lord of the Rings and then you're like, oh yeah, give me the extended editions.
Yeah, like give me the 2-hour TV version of this movie. I'd love that. Yeah, I get that. But overall, I just think, I don't know. I thought it was
that's
really
what
cool.
Everybody's saying. I mean, I'm glad that you're able to love it because it was so visually amazing and the music was so good. It felt long.
Yeah, that's completely fair because I even thought about that. I was engaged the whole time and I still felt like, okay, this is a little bit long, kind of. And if a movie's not flawless, once you get into that 2-hour, 2:15 range and the movie's not over yet, if it's not hitting really hard right then, you start to feel it. Yeah. And I did kind of start to feel it a little bit where I was like, okay, I hope this like moves forward really quick.
Right.
So
I will say something weird is, and this is kind of a contradicting of myself, I was bored, but it was also done faster than I thought. Like when a movie is like 3 hours long, like Endgame, but it doesn't feel like 3 hours. This did feel like that, where it didn't feel long, but at the same time I was bored. Yeah. But I wasn't like sitting there like, can this movie be over?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're aware of how long it is, right?
Yeah,
you knew the runtime going into it, which
is every movie now.
Probably probably hurts a little bit because I
Yeah.
bet if you didn't know going in, you had literally no idea going in, it might not feel as bad, right? But when you're aware, and if it's not hitting for you perfectly, you're like, oh, this movie's 2 hours and 46 minutes long, you know? So I totally get that.
Especially after when I read the book and I was less excited for it.
Don't read books,
But then
kids.
I heard everything about it and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm getting hyped for this now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel that.
Okay.
But man, I mean, there were some twists in this movie too. Here's the thing. I don't know anything about Dune.
Yeah.
All I know about Dune is what I saw in the first movie and one YouTube video I watched about explaining that first movie because I wasn't sure I fully grasped it. That's all I knew about Dune going into this. So there were some twists and turns that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I just think the costume design, the world building, the CGI, the combat was great.
Yeah, the cinematography in the combat
The
was really
cinematography
good.
is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Especially in the last part. It was really, really good.
If we ever get a Star Wars movie that is anything close to this, I'm going to lose my mind. Just overall.
Maybe we'll have the director direct a Star Wars movie.
That would be so cool. Because if we can get like a really good Star Wars writer to write a Star Wars movie and then get whoever this guy was to direct it,
Yeah.
that's where
His name is so weird.
De-
Dennis was like
Dennis Villanueva.
Villanueva or something.
Yeah. But man, it was good.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have any other non-spoilery stuff to say?
No.
Do you recommend people see it?
Yeah.
Who? Everyone?
Yeah, I'd recommend it to pretty much everybody.
Okay.
It's got some dark moments in there.
It's gritty, man. This was a gritty movie.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But if you like the first one, I definitely recommend this one because you'll really love this
Yeah,
one.
if you liked the first one, I think you'll love this one.
Yeah, if
That's
you
my
didn't
guess.
like this one, like the first one, it's worth a watch just to see it
Yeah.
and hear it.
I would say regardless, if you're not basing it off of a book, I would say basically everybody's going to think this is better than the first one.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of almost objectively better.
Yeah. Like
so-
Avatar, go see it to see
Yeah.
how cool it looks
Yeah.
and how awesome it sounds.
I'm going to have to go back and watch Avatar again because I really do think that this is visually much better.
Just the stuff they did with the water is
It's cool that they did it, but does that look better than what they did with the sand?
I would almost say it does, just because the sand sometimes felt like smoke and mirrors,
Okay.
where they used it so you couldn't see clearly. I mean,
Okay.
how clearly did you really see the sandworms in this movie? Like, a couple times you did, but other than that, it was like...
Yeah, but there's one
yeah,
scene
of
where you
course,
see
yeah,
them
of course.
in all their glory, and it's one
But
of the
that's it.
best shots.
But that's it.
I get that.
Right?
I get that.
Where this is like Avatar, it was just like, let me show everything.
Yeah,
You know?
that's fair.
I'm not going to hide behind something. There were times where it felt like they used the sand to make it easier to make it cheaper.
We're gonna argue about this. I'm excited. I'm excited. I feel actually completely differently, but I
Okay,
see your
great.
point.
I love it.
Okay.
Obviously, you recommend it to nobody.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should see this movie.
Yeah, worst movie you've ever seen in your life.
Garbage. This movie, honestly, and I don't even think I went in with low expectations. I just think I went in with no expectations.
Yeah.
And I was fully prepared to give this movie whatever it deserved. And to me, it was great.
Yeah.
So I'm like excited for the next one
Yeah.
because I'm assuming there'll be a next one.
Yeah, he wants to do Dune Messiah, which is the next book.
Oh, okay. Is it a sequel? Is it like a true sequel? Will
I haven't
follow
read
up?
Dune Messiah, so I'm not.
Okay.
I think it is the next book,
Yeah.
but
But
I'm
you don't
not
know if it
sure.
follows picks up right where it left off.
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay.
Jesse's explained it to me a little bit, but I think it picks up pretty much close to where it left off.
Okay.
But where this left off is much different.
Cool. Okay. Well,
visuals.
That's it. We're going to get into spoilers now, folks.
Yeah. Spoiler time.
It's spoiler time. If you're getting out of here, go follow us on the socials.
Yeah.
And
all the socials.
Subscribe to this podcast. Leave a review if you're on Apple Podcasts. Please leave a review. Next person to leave a review, I'll Venmo you $1.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll send you a gift in the mail. Just leave a review.
No, he won't. He still hasn't given me my gift for Avatar.
Stop. That's not a gift. That's a prize. And you get it when you get it. Shut up. Okay, so let's jump into... I
have in recording on game night that you would get me something when it left theaters.
Oh, my goodness. So, well, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
You're supposed to have forgotten.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, visuals.
Yeah.
They were good.
45, maybe out of 200.
Out of 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just yucky. You know what I mean? It just looked bad.
The flying.
What about the flying?
I guess I don't even know what they were doing. I guess it wasn't necessarily like
I would call
flying.
it like Like I would call it anti-gravity.
It felt zero gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than flying.
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
It looked great.
I thought it did too. Here's the thing.
It literally looked like they went into space and had zero gravity.
That's exactly right.
Which I don't know how they did that.
At first I was thinking, okay, is this supposed to be flying? I couldn't tell if it looked great or horrible right off the bat. And then I was like, oh, this is what it would probably look like if it was real.
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
But it didn't look bad.
Well, and that's the thing is I think when something's CGI, and it might not be CGI, it might just be wire work, which is probably what it was.
I think it was.
If something is CGI or fake, but it looks perfect, it's almost weirder. Because we're so used to the last 20 years of seeing us guess at stuff.
Yeah.
But now there are videos of people kind of flying. I mean, zero gravity, we've had video of forever, but people kind of flying. I mean, you see people in squirrel suits and stuff like that. We kind of know now what things look like.
Yeah. It didn't feel like flying. It felt like zero gravity.
Yeah. And I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
For sure. I know I said this already, but the costume design is so good, and it was stepped up even more in this movie. It was so good. I loved the first people who show up, the bad guys they're in the black suits, the Harkonnen, and they've got the suits are kind of dumb looking in a cool way, but then the helmets are super dope.
Yeah.
They've got like this subtle hexagon pattern on them, and there's just so much. It's so much detail, and I love that because it feels like Star Wars, where it's these super over-the-top elaborate costumes. Whether you're royalty or you're like a soldier, there's so much detail and all this stuff. And I thought it was awesome.
The silk suits that they wear, the Fremen, always look super good.
Yeah, they're so cool, and the capes and just all of it.
How annoying do you think it was wearing that little nose piece like all the time?
I'll bet you get used to it really quick.
You think?
Yeah, because I doubt it goes up very high, and they probably just kind of adhesive it to your face, so it's probably just chilling there.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, but I don't know.
I just feel like it'd be like sitting there, you know.
I know,
like wanting to itch. Or
I know.
Like
how often do
you
sneeze and it just like flops out? You know. Dude, I don't know what's going to happen in the future of Star Wars, but Star Wars really needs a lesson on scale and scope. Like, it was the #1 complaint for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, where everything just felt super claustrophobic because you could tell they were filming on cheap sets or in the volume. And so you can, even if the volume looks great, you can still feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
And this was, I don't know how they filmed this at all.
Yeah,
but
I actually don't either.
Every time you see just this big scape, it's everything just feels massive.
Did they make a dune?
I don't know.
Were they in a dune? What dune?
Did they go out to a desert and
Did they go out to another planet?
Or is this the best set design ever? You know? I don't know. There's so much going on in a desert.
And where do you get all that sand?
Exactly. I mean, I don't mean to talk about Star Wars, but I do. But I mean,
sand is rough.
But
it gets everywhere.
They flew to Tunisia and filmed Star Wars in Tunisia.
Yeah.
In the freaking middle of nowhere. And so it's possible that they filmed in Tunisia or somewhere where there's a buttload of sand.
Huh.
But it's so much sand that there has to be some background replacement.
Well,
at
obviously,
least a little bit.
yeah. I mean,
Because you'd probably just see Dubai or something in the background. It's like, hey, wait a second.
you see water.
But dude, they just, I don't know. And I don't know how, I'm not obviously a visual effects artist. I don't know how hard it is to really make something feel so big.
Right.
But they figured it out.
They did.
With
everything felt big.
The freaking ships, dude. They'd come in and they'd drop off this thing on the sand, and it's just, and then you'd see a person next to it that's like this big, and you're like, that ship is massive, and I feel it, you know.
And the ships look so good.
Yeah,
were they all just CGI,
good.
or was it like, did they build some of these?
I don't know, but I was thinking about two different ones. There's one shot where all of the, and I love the design of the Dragonfly helicopters. I think it's such a cool design. They're all flying away kind of into the sunset, and they're kind of silhouetted, not fully, but mostly. And it's, I was just looking at that and I was like, that's real.
Yeah.
There's no difference between if that was CGI or if it was real.
Yeah.
Visually.
Yeah.
Zero difference.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like how a helicopter looks when it flies away.
Oh, yeah.
And then the kind of one of the last ships that comes in, that big chrome thing.
Dude, everything was chrome in this movie.
It's hard to know if that is like a miniature or if it was CGI, because
I feel like
it
you'd have
flies
to
over
make
the
a
mountain.
miniature.
It flies over the mountain and it reflects the mountain perfectly on it.
But it's not smooth. It's like
it's
like a
a
bunch
little
of different
textured.
So you'd have to, there's no way they CGI'd that. Like, how much time would that take for that one shot to have it move down and have it layer over 1,000 different
maybe
squares?
Not much, because I've watched a lot of visual effects breakdowns. You create the 3D environment, and then you can just take a chrome sphere and drag it over, and it'll just render it for you, kind of.
Yeah.
And I know there's so much detail. I'm not saying that they just like
No,
made
they
a
could
ball and just
have.
dragged it over a mountain. I think it's more complex than that, but it could have been either.
How cool would that be if it's a little miniature that just like...
Dude, and it... Absolutely. There's so much in this movie where, again, I don't know. Is it a miniature? Is it CGI? You know, how big is this miniature? And that's, I think, where you find the perfect point of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because when you can tell something's a miniature, it takes a little bit away from the impact of something. And when you can tell it's CGI, it distracts a little bit.
Yeah.
And when you don't know, and you're just like, I can't tell, but it looks real.
Yeah.
That's where you want it.
Yeah.
I think to sit. So they did great.
The only other thing that I forgot is that was a little like, they did so good with so many things. When she picks up the baby worm to extract the thing.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like holding it and it's like squishing, and stuff, and it's wriggling, and then obviously it dies when she puts it in the water. But then it's just like a straight up prop when she's holding it. And there's like, she's squeezing onto it, but there's no like give to it at all. It's just like,
I didn't even
it's just like a solid cylinder.
That whole scene, and maybe this goes to show either how engaged I was or how good they did, I don't know, or how oblivious I am. The whole time, I didn't think once about if that worm is CGI, if it was a prop, if it was this or this or this. I just watched it and I was like, she's picking up a worm now. And now the worm is being drowned.
Yeah.
And now she's sucking stuff. And that was it. And I was just, I bought it, obviously.
Well, yeah, I bought
because
all of it too.
Most stuff, as I was watching, I was thinking like, how did they do this? This is incredible. And that scene, I was just like, cool, she's got a worm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Big worms, they exist now.
Yeah.
You know?
That was my only thing. I was like, why wasn't it squishy? Like, why wouldn't there be give?
Because they're super hard. I know it was a baby,
when she was holding
though.
it, it was giving.
Then I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe when it dies, it
just
flexes.
Because when you die, you flex your muscles. You don't relax.
Yep.
Obviously.
Okay, dude. So at the beginning, when those guys are getting sniped off of the cliff and they're just falling,
just dropping.
That's another thing to me that is akin to a good skewering. Is a good people falling off.
Yep.
What I hate is when people, and again, freaking Star Wars does this. Usually, there are some times when they do it correctly, but they'll get shot at the edge of a cliff and they'll fall off and they'll they'll pull a Lion King and they'll just disappear into the dust.
Uh-huh.
But when they fall off and then they impact on the ground, it's bliss. It's great. And so I just loved, there were a few different camera angles that felt cool. One just looking straight up and it's just coming straight at you. You're like, oh.
And the other side one where it's just him falling the whole time.
Oh, it's so good. I freaking loved it.
Is this going to be your new favorite movie? Screw Revenge of the Sith. You're going to watch this all the time now.
Oh, it's so hard because I was watching this movie and I was partially thinking about, okay, I was like almost picturing a different version of the movie where it's all kind of the same, but Timothy Chalamet is Anakin Skywalker and everybody has lightsabers. And I was like, if we just do that, if we just replace Timothée Chalamet with Hayden Christensen and we replace, I don't know, Weirdo von Schwarzenberger, what's his name? Austin Butler, with Ewan McGregor, even though those aren't the same, but... And then just give everybody lightsabers.
Close.
This movie would be kind of lit.
It'd be kind of legit.
It'd be really cool. Oh.
Then they could just like stab the lightsabers into the sandworms and control them that way.
So cool, actually. Oh, no. Okay. But yeah, I mean,
Okay, my next favorite thing was a freaking rocket launcher gunshot on the guy.
Are you talking about the bazooka from Point Blank? Okay, if you haven't watched the movie and you're dumb enough to be here for the spoilers, Zendaya's about to bazooka a helicopter, right? And then some guy shows up behind her and she's like, welp. And she turns around and she is about this close to the guy and she shoots the bazooka at him. And, you know, you can't really tell, but I'm assuming he goes flying with it. And it hits him and they go flying into a helicopter and explode. And it's glorious.
Was it the No, it was just a ship.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it was just a ship. It was just a giant ship. Glorious is really the only correct word to describe that scene because it was incredible.
Oh, man.
One thing that I loved that I don't know if this was in the first movie, but I didn't catch it until this time. The helicopters have guns on them that they're kind of like shotguns.
Yeah, far away shotguns.
Yeah. And because they shoot and when it hits, it's like, I don't know, 8 to 10, maybe more.
No, yeah, like 15,
maybe 20, 15, 20. Like bullet hits on the ground. Big, I don't know, bullet is probably the wrong word. Laser.
They're like the lasers.
I don't know, but big hits on the ground. And the noise, like the sound mixed with the shot and where it's just, it's one of those things that just scratches an itch in your brain. It's so
it hits
cool
the
and satisfying.
Sand most of the time.
Yeah, and it makes kind of the thud of the sound, but you also hear the multiple shots from the gun.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really good.
It's really cool.
So, yeah, that was really awesome.
I liked the fight in the stadium because of the color.
There was
lack of the
thereof.
color. Yeah.
So, cool. So fun fact. Thor Love and Thunder has a lot of it that's black and white.
Oh.
Because essentially, I could be getting the actual lore wrong, but I believe Gore the God Butcher, where he goes, he sucks the color out of wherever he is, something. I don't know. It's something similar to that.
Didn't read that.
And so they visually looked that scene and from Thor very similar, but the Dune was like so much cooler.
Yeah. Because there was like millions of people.
That whole scene was friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
All of it was awesome.
Yeah.
The freaking scale of that stadium with just the bajillions of people.
Well, even just when he walks out, I didn't realize how big the ground was.
Yeah. Oh, and then you look up in the tower and Baron von Schlotzensnacker is up at the tippy top of the tower. And it's just so cool. And
Baron
the girl's
Harkonnen.
she's got her binocular opera glasses and she's like zooming in on stuff. And it's just,
and then she's blinking.
It's just freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just cool.
Well, and even just in her little binoculars, there was a little bit of blue on the bottom, just to tell you the difference. And it was cool. Just that little hint of blue in there.
Just so detailed, man. There's a scene where they blow something up. I can't remember. It's kind of more towards the beginning, and I only know that because this is at the beginning of my notes. Something blows up. Maybe it's just the mountain, or maybe it's the ship. I can't remember.
The side shot?
I don't know.
Where it's falling? The helicopter she shoots down with
No. I'm talking like something big.
Oh, okay.
Like I can't remember if it's like an entire mountain or if it's a building. It's something huge.
Okay.
And the freaking debris is just,
Oh, yeah.
it's so well done.
Yeah.
You feel kind of the terror of it falling, and it's just all great. It's just I just am raving about this movie visually. Okay, can we talk about maybe this is what you were talking about? So when he rides the worm, he gets on that worm. He lashes it. He says, "Yeehaw!"
Yeah.
So he's riding the worm. Is this the scene you were talking about where the sand feels lazy?
No.
Okay. Oh, because I was going to argue with you on that. Well, now we can't freaking argue.
No, when he's first getting on the sandworm and he falls down.
Yeah.
Like that whole part where he's like trying to fish for something. I felt like I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
So I felt like they were using the sand as a way to where I couldn't see anything. But when he's on the worms, I think it's great.
So I see what you're saying.
And I know there would be sand.
But
Like
that's the thing.
I know there would be.
I feel like they almost shot more for like realism, even though it's something that's so unrealistic. He's riding a giant sandworm.
Yeah,
but I feel like they did, especially when he's riding it. I feel like they did such a good job of making you feel like, oh my gosh, he is getting pounded with sand.
Oh yeah,
his goggles are completely covered in sand, and you can't see anything.
Well,
and it's like, oh, well, he can't see anything. Why would I see anything?
Right.
Which I've seen things where they do something similar where someone's on a train in the desert or a sand or whatever, and it's like there's not enough sand.
Right.
You know? And so I feel like they dove into the realism of how much freaking sand there was that you couldn't see. But I get your point.
Yeah.
So.
I wanted to see more of the worms.
Craig needs more worm.
I need more.
I'm going to make you a shirt that says more worm, please. And it's just going to have the big open mouth of the worm. And then the Dune popcorn bucket. Oh, yeah, all three. And then we'll just put the Dune popcorn bucket on the back.
Beautiful.
Okay. But that's like towards the end. But
other than that, you just saw like scaling on them.
No, I know.
Like you didn't even see their mouths as they were going through the sand.
But wait. Ignore the fact that you didn't get to see it that many times. Think about it's a 2-part scene. First, the big worm comes out. And you just see that big old worm. And you're like, and then it kind of cuts back and there's 3 worms. Okay.
Yeah.
How cool.
No, it was super cool.
No, it's cool. Don't say but. Just sit in the goodness of that for just a moment.
No, hold on.
No.
Because I have another example as the reason why.
So cool.
The 2017 Godzilla, whatever year it came out, the first new Godzilla.
Which one? Is that where he uses his laser breath on the buildings? Is he fighting Monarch?
You know, he's fighting the moth.
Isn't that Monarch?
Mothra.
Oh, Mothra. Oh, is Monarch a thing, or am I making that up? I think I'm thinking of Mothra. Okay.
That's the one where he
doesn't
opens up the mouth and he breathes the blue
the
fire.
laser breath.
The coolest scene I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
But I hated the rest of the movie because you never saw Godzilla.
No, I get that. So I
feel the same way.
I think.
Nope, I feel the same way.
Can I just
shut your mouth?
Can I give you a suggestion?
Yes.
There's a word we like to use in therapy, which I've never been in therapy, but I'm married to a therapist, and she doesn't ever use this word. So all of my credentials I've just thrown out the window.
I like even looking at the camera the whole time.
There's a word that people use called compartmentalizing.
Okay.
Meaning 2 things can be true at once.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That worm scene can be so cool. And you don't have to say, but I didn't get to see the worm. You say, and. Okay? Replace your but with and.
Okay.
That worm scene was so cool. And I didn't get to see the worms that much.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because it's that worm scene being cool. The fact that you didn't get to see the worms doesn't detract from how freaking cool that scene was.
No, it's the same thing with Godzilla.
You could just put that scene on repeat if you really liked it that much.
I rewatch that Godzilla scene all the time.
Dude, oh, it's so good.
It's so cool.
That and is it the old King Kong with Jack Black where he rips the dinosaur's jaw in half? Because that's good too.
So, but I don't remember.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Anyways, I get what you're saying. You don't get to see the worms, but this movie's not as much about the worms.
Okay.
How many times do you see the worms? We see it eat a few dudes, kind of at the beginning. You get to see the mouth.
Yeah, you see
and
the
then
mouth.
you see, he rides a worm.
The sand tickle the little.
The sand tickle
the little things. What are they? Tentacles? I don't know.
Nope, the sand is tickling the little things.
They're like the mouth teeth, the whale teeth. Sorry, not
The mouth teeth.
the whale
As
teeth.
opposed to what kind of teeth,
Oh
Craig?
my gosh, they're like the whale teeth. You know, it's like this.
Worms
Sit
have
away.
mouth. Worms have mouth teeth
Worse.
that tickle the little things. You heard
New,
it here
new
first,
TV,
folks.
new T-shirt.
Worms have mouth teeth. Okay.
That tickle the little things.
Okay.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
no, I think what I wrote down, shot with big worms, maybe best shot of all time. It's maybe not the best shot of all time, but
it's
I think
not,
about
but
it.
it's up there.
And I want to like think of some of the best shots of all time and do just a little compilation of like,
Yeah.
this is the kind of stuff that blows you away.
John Wick 4 top-down shot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Avengers Endgame when freaking Captain America climbs up the rock and the whole army's coming at him and it's a side shot with the sky.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the worst shots of all time. Hey, will you tell me if this is a hot take? Sorry, we're jumping off Dune for just a second. One of my least favorite shots of all time and from that movie,
Endgame?
yeah,
Oh,
is
okay.
when he uppercuts Thanos with the hammer.
Okay.
I think it's so dumb looking.
Really?
He like hits him and he like does this Super Mario Bros. Like ching
Yeah, he
pose,
definitely does.
and it looks so dumb.
Okay, I guess
it's
I've
the
never-
only thing in that movie I don't like. But
I guess I don't know.
it feels.
It
I
feels
think it's,
a little animated.
I think it's the wind up and the everything where he's like, a bring. It's like, I just keep expecting that sound. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe
Make a
people,
TikTok.
maybe
Bring.
people feel differently because people are so jazzed that he picked up the hammer, even though he was
Yeah.
never worthy because he's the worst. But I don't like Captain America. We should debate.
That's great. He's not my favorite either, but of course he's worthy. He's Captain America, man.
No, Tony's worther.
No, he's not.
Yeah, huh?
He is not a good person.
Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, whatever.
No.
Just kidding. If anybody's worthy, honestly, it's probably Spider-Man.
Nope.
You think Captain America is more
Yes.
worthy than Spider-Man?
Yeah.
All right. Craig is snorting cocaine. Okay.
Okay, the Chrome ship. I don't know
loved
if
it.
you noticed this, but the first time you see it and it's coming down to Dune, there's a side shot, okay?
Are you talking about when it's on fire? Or is that a different ship?
Yeah, I mean, it's like coming into it's coming into the atmosphere. It starts to get on fire towards the end.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this, but half of it is light and half of it is dark.
Does it look like an Oreo?
No, it looked like a Pokeball because it's got the
really?
circle in the middle and it's got a lighter top and a darker
That's
bottom.
so funny. Actually,
It
I
looked
didn't catch
exactly
that.
like a Pokeball.
Oh, that's funny.
It was
That's
pretty funny.
Okay. I have written down that the worm riding scene is actually some of the best CGI I've ever seen. Because again, it felt so real, and I was worried that it was about to get mega cheesy, and it never did. And I was like, "This is really well done." There's
Yeah.
something about it that just worked, and I think a lot of it actually was the camera work, or it's probably fake camera work,
Oh,
but still,
obviously.
just like. You know, when you zoom way in and pan your phone across, it's way shakier
Yeah.
than if you were to just like do this.
Yeah.
Because you're following something going at a bajillion miles an hour. And you feel it with the camera. It's so cool. It's just like that little splash of detail that they have.
Yeah. I only have one more now.
Okay,
so-
do you want to give your last one and then I'll pound through mine real quick?
Yeah. So the last note that I have, this is one I was talking about in our spoiler free, but when he's talking to them and he's up on the rock and he's holding the Chris knife,
Yeah.
showing from the back, looking at all the people looked really good. And then there was one where it was like 2 seconds long. It
Yeah.
flipped to him and hit the whole background was like
Interesting.
it was straight. Maybe it had to have been green screen, but it looked like he
Yeah.
was literally just standing in front of a screen.
Bummer. I didn't catch that
Yeah.
at all. I don't doubt it.
That's
but
weird.
That is weird, especially because the shot from behind looked super
great.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Weird. I wonder if it's totally possible that it was a replacement shot. Like last
It could be,
second
and
where
maybe
they had to do a
maybe
reshoot or something.
it
but-
was just how it was filmed that it made me feel more like
Yeah.
a green screen. But it looked like he didn't look like he was in there.
Yeah.
He looked like he was
That makes sense.
in front of a screen. So, anyways, that's
Okay.
that's what I got.
So the design and just the vibe of, and we already talked about this, but the whole arena, are they on the Harkonnen planet when they do the whole arena scene. It's not like their own planet.
Yeah.
The whole aesthetic of the people and the costumes and the arena and just the vibe of that is so cool. Because it's super different with the black and white. And they're these weird freaking bald people, and they have this black moon.
Yeah.
And it's just, everything was like, oh, this is
like very
weird
like
and cool.
Holy, the moon.
Yeah, it's like
because there's a lot of light coming through it.
Sponge moon.
Yeah.
Sponge moon SquarePants.
Yeah, well, circle.
Sponge moon circle moon.
Sponge moon circle sky.
Sponge moon circle bob. Okay. But yeah, I mean, that whole thing was really cool. And then the fireworks. Did you notice the fireworks?
Yeah.
Freaking splashy.
Yeah, those
weird
are cool.
Liquid.
Like the black liquid.
They're black liquid fireworks.
Yeah.
Where can I get them? Because I'd like some, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so
black liquid fireworks.
when the ugly naked guy,
the Baron Harkonnen?
Yeah. Ugly naked guy.
Yeah.
He kisses Elvis on the mouth. And then Elvis...
Why did that need to be in there?
And then Elvis kisses him on the mouth. That's not even the funny part. The funny part was afterwards when all of the bald people, they like clasp their hands together and they go, oh, it gave me... Have you seen Galaxy Quest?
Yeah.
Oh, they gave me so Galaxy Quest vibes where they're just like...
Oh, yeah.
Just like... never give up, never surrender. It just felt like the same people.
Yeah.
It felt like Galaxy Quest, but PG-13. That's all
and
it was.
more serious.
And a little bit more serious, but I couldn't take him serious. But anyway, hilarious.
I don't... Why did the uncle and nephew need to like...
Kiss on the mouth?
Kiss on the mouth.
It's weird because he kissed him and then he kissed him.
But no,
Why?
he just gives him a kiss and then he like grabs his uncle's head and is like...
Because they're both weird. Dude. They're weird people. Okay, the magnetic mines?
Yeah, those were cool.
So cool.
Those
I
are
was
cool.
like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
I was like, this is mine!
Yeah. It was just like floating.
It reminded me of Gimli. No, is it Gimli? Who says it?
Gimli.
No, it's Boromir, I think. This isn't a mine. It's a tomb. Fellowship of the Ring.
It's like all I can think of Gimli is, shall I get you a box?
Okay, so the shot of him. Oh, there's a shot kind of, I think, right after I believe this is right after he drinks the liquid and he's like, we're Harkonnen.
Yeah.
And then there's this cool scene where he's kind of off in the distance and silhouetted and he's got his cape flowing and it's slow motion. And the worm just freaking shoots out of the ground and just does like a triple gainer. And just, I don't know.
Triple gainer
No, it
backflip.
just shoots out of the ground and it's so cool looking.
Yeah.
So that's another worm shot.
Yeah.
Different scene.
But you still didn't see much of the worm,
No, I
though.
know, but it was cool though.
Yeah.
I care way more about it being cool than if you want to see the worm so bad, buy the visual guidebooks to Dune. If you're so concerned with looking at it, I just want cool scenes.
They just made him look so cool. I
No,
wanted to see
know.
more of him.
I think that's the thing, though.
No,
you
it's
leave
not.
Leave the mystery.
Okay, let me ask you this:
Okay.
Godzilla versus King Kong
Okay.
versus Godzilla with Bryan Cranston, who dies 5 minutes into
No,
it.
no,
And there's
no.
one cool action scene.
But that movie's called Godzilla.
That's great. I don't
This
give
is
a
not
crap.
called Worm.
I don't.
If it
It's
was called Worm,
Dune.
would you go see it?
It's called Dune.
Yeah, and think about
which is
how much
about
sand
the
you saw.
worms.
Think about how much sand
It's
and
about
dunes you
the
saw.
worms.
It's about the worms. You guys are gonna have so much merch after this episode. Oh my goodness. Okay. The synagogue with just the thousands and thousands of people all just packed in there super tightly, super cool looking.
Yeah.
The atomic warhead explosion when they blow up they blow up
the
the
Capitol.
I guess it's like the mountain right behind.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Capitol?
Yeah.
That was a
cool.
good explosion.
And then they blow up the Capitol.
That was a really good explosion. That was what Oppenheimer wished it did.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Oppenheimer can go die. This was a great friggin' explosion. And then I just think the final fight choreography was really good.
It was really good.
It was really good. Especially I was like, oh, this is really cool. It's very like grounded in reality. And then Homeboy did a freaking Darth Maul like gymnast flip, and I was like, sick, dude.
Yeah,
like,
dude, when he
tiny
like literally
detail,
like back like triple
yes,
like
the sideways. I don't know what it's called. There's obviously a name for it.
Yeah.
It's where you're horizontal and you do a 360.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, really cool.
Yeah, it was
so,
cool.
Yeah, I just thought it was good. And again, just the cinematography in the whole movie. The shot choices were great. It felt a lot like John Wick. Like same, maybe not exactly the same style, but the same level of just good cinematography.
Yeah.
But this one had a little bit of better CGI.
Yeah.
But yeah. So those are all my visual notes.
Okay.
What are you going to give it out of 200, Craig, on the visuals?
I'm gonna do 198.
Cool. I'm going to...
199.
Okay. I was going to say I'm going to give it a 1. Wait. No. I'm giving it a 200.
How are you not giving it a
Sorry.
200?
No, I'm giving it a 200.
I'll put the green screen and the baby worm prop as 1 point.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't even talked about the baby yet. How did you feel about them showing the baby in the womb so much?
Yeah.
That was the one thing I didn't like that they were doing it, but I think it was just because I didn't care about it.
198, because I forgot about that. That did bother me.
Okay.
It was weird.
It bothered me that it was there, but it visually still looked really good, actually, so I can't take points off.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into the story, which I have so many less notes about.
Okay.
Can I just say the first one real quick?
Yeah, please.
So he says, Timoteo Chalamet says that he needs to, the quote is, I must sway the non-believers. And the only thing that popped into my head was, shun the non-believers.
Yes, that's literally what happened to me too. Yeah.
I was like, oh no, what?
If you hadn't already told me to shut up, I was totally going to look over and be like, shun the non-believers.
Shun the non-believers. It's a Leo Blur.
We're on a bridge, Charlie.
So they should have thought about that before they put that in the movie.
Oh my gosh. How many people would have to die to fill up that water?
Probably at least 6. At least. So many, Craig.
Like if that felt unrealistic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally.
He said the number 2, and he said like 1,300 gigaliters, which is that a real measurement?
I don't even know.
My computer has 256 gigaliters of memory.
Gigaliters. I was just like,
no, you're totally right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of crossed my mind when I was like, that's...
Well, the problem was they were literally showing you pouring the water into it.
And it's like 12 ounces.
And it's like 2 of those things from that one guy. And I'm like, I mean, this would literally be trillions of people.
Yeah.
I mean, have to be trillions of people. And it's like...
maybe not great planning.
No. Maybe a little pool of water.
I did like the idea.
I did too. It was really cool.
It was cool that they put the turtle shell. What's that chocolate stuff called that you put on ice cream where it hardens right away?
The magic shell.
Yeah, magic shell. They put that on his eyes.
Yeah, basically.
And on his nose and on his mouth. Vanilla. And they vacuum packed the body and suck all the water out of it.
Suck all the water out of him.
I thought that was cool. That's a cool... It just kind of felt like a cool play on mummification, kind of ancient Egyptian practices and stuff. It was cool. Dude, her name's not Jessica Chastain, but she looks like her. Rebecca Ferguson. Lady Jessica. Maybe that's why I call her Jessica Chastain. Do they look similar? Yeah, the mom. Tattoo face. Post Malone.
Yeah, that was weird.
That's Rebecca Ferguson, right? The same chick. Is it the same chick from Greatest Showman? Same girl.
The mom?
Who sings Never Enough.
Oh, shoot. No way.
I think so. Hey, let's find out. Who is Rebecca Ferguson? I think it is.
Really?
Yeah, but she doesn't technically sing it. It's somebody else. Actually, the girl who sings Never Enough, who does the voice for it, she's my cousin.
Yeah, she lives here.
Yeah, Lauren Allred. She's like my 3rd cousin or something, but still my cousin. Yep. Greatest Showman, Dune.
Oh,
Mission
cool.
Impossible.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I knew it was Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Anyway, so she drinks the liquid, the blue milk.
Yep.
And I just thought it was cool
Pretty much.
when the old lady's like, "What have we done? She's pregnant." And you're
Yeah.
like, what's gonna happen? This is cool. They did it well
Yeah.
when they do that. Yeah.
Which then they didn't show what was going to happen.
No, yeah.
No.
No, that is
they
one
do
thing
in the
they
book,
did not explain.
But they did not in
Oh,
this.
really? They do in the book?
Okay, so
Okay.
the little side trivia for Dune. So she drinks it. She changes the poison.
Okay.
So it's drinkable. And actually what happens is everybody then proceeds to drink it after she's changed it.
Okay.
The baby gets born.
Oh.
She doesn't talk to her.
Okay.
She talks to her as when she drinks the poison. That's like the only time that she hears like the baby's voice. And then there's no like conversation between her and the baby. She has the baby and she has all of the memories of the mom, but she's like a 2-year-old. So she's like a 2-year-old that has all the memories that the mom has. So she's like a super intelligent
That's kind of cool.
2-year-old.
Smart baby.
She actually kills the Baron Harkonnen. He doesn't kill him.
The baby does?
Well, she's 2.
And she kills the
But she's
Baron?
but she's not a normal 2-year-old.
CGI baby.
Yeah. She pokes him with the
magic needle.
Oh my gosh, what's it called? The
sewing needle. Needle of death. Heroin.
No, it starts with a G.
Goob.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Yeah, we'll
call it the goob.
She just pricks him, and that's how the Baron Harkonnen dies. There's a lot of differences, but yeah, she doesn't even get born in this one, which is weird.
Interesting.
But I understand it because it'd be weird to have. I mean, they could have maybe done like a 5 or 6-year-old or something.
Yeah, but also think about how much longer this movie would have to be if they introduced another baby.
I know. And in the book, they talk like 18 times about how she's a weirdo.
How long is that book? Listening.
21 hours, I think. I mean, it's like basic.
Craig, I haven't even been alive for 21 hours. That is so long, dude.
I'm pretty sure you have.
Whatever.
It's just a little bit longer than one of the longest Harry Potter books. So it's not like super, super long.
It is for a book written in the 60s.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can you explain something to me?
Yes.
She's having whose baby? She's having whose baby? It's not Oscar Isaac's baby.
It is.
Wait. But didn't he say your baby's actually the Baron's baby?
No, she was the Baron's baby.
Oh. Okay.
She is. That's why he says grandfather when he stabs him.
Got it.
Is one of the
dumbest lines. That clears up I didn't like that.
Was so dumb.
That clears up everything I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Because then
is the Baron Harkonnen's baby.
Okay. That makes sense.
So
because when he said, I thought he said you're having the Baron Harkonnen's baby, and then he's like, we're all Harkonnens. And I was like, bro, that doesn't make you a Harkonnen.
You're the Baron Harkonnen's baby.
Okay.
We're all Harkonnens.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which is why he is the Liab Al-Gaib.
The Leopleurodon.
Leopleurodon. The Kwisatz Haderach.
The Dostap Batarak. When he made the witch lady silence, he said, silence. That was cool.
It was cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
Very scary.
I like how that's how they like in the movie, because it would be hard to portray, because in like the book, it's basically they're just talking in a way that changes how somebody thinks. I like in this, it's just like, I'm screaming at you.
Yeah. And they just like throw an octave lower in the mix in post. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, Paul, what are you going? I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you. You have any more story notes?
I am your father. So the one thing okay. Harry Potter 3. Okay.
You love Harry Potter 3.
I love Harry Potter 3.
Also, I love Harry Potter 3.
But when I first saw Harry Potter 3, I hated it with every fiber of my being because it was the only book that I had read before the movie. Okay?
Bad idea.
And then I started to be like, oh my gosh, Harry Potter 3 is so good. And at that moment is where I decided, okay, if I read a book before I watch a movie, I'm not going to let it get to me. Okay?
Great idea.
Ready Player One. Literally the plot of the movie that there is an Easter egg that they need to find is the only thing that matches in the book versus
Wow,
the movie.
really?
Everything else is different. But I loved Ready Player
I
One.
don't even think I knew that was a book.
Yeah, it's a book.
I love that movie.
Yeah. And I love that movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I love all the Harry Potters, even though I've read them all now.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that... In the book, Chani and him are like fully devoted to each other the whole time. There's no like... There's none of this like group of people that don't believe in the prophecy.
Okay.
Everybody believes in the prophecy, and everybody sees the signs that he is the Lisa al-Gaib.
Yeah.
So that was different, which was fine, but that was the only thing that... it only bugged me, though, because I read the book, right?
Yeah.
If I never read the book, it wouldn't have bothered me because I wouldn't have known any better. But she knows his full devotion to her. And so, like, when she's like, you're going to be my bride, like, she already knew that was going to happen and has no problems with it because she understands why it needs to happen, right? He needs to take the throne.
Yeah.
So her, like, getting in the sandworm at the end...
Being all grumpy.
Nothing in the books. So
because it's Zendaya and there's only one character she knows how to play, and it's grumpy, dark, mysterious girl.
Yeah, that's true.
Except for in the classic Disney Channel hit "Shake It Up," up. That's where she comes from. Her and Bella Thorne did a show where they're dancers called "Shake It Up."
Double teamed.
Nope, that's it. Is that the Is that the basketball movie?
That's the basketball one.
Oh, I just watched a clip from that like 2 days ago. Oh, it's awful.
Probably should have called it something else.
Okay, yeah. Okay, there's one line that was missing from this movie, and I get why they couldn't use it because it's a classic line from a different movie.
Star Wars.
No,
Oh.
actually, shockingly enough, it was not from Star Wars. It's
Okay.
from a movie called The Princess Bride.
Oh.
And he walks up. So he's killed Elvis Presley, right?
Right.
And he walks up to Christopher Walken.
And you wanted to
And
be like, inconceivable.
Yes. And I wanted him to walk up, and she's like, you already killed the guy. Spare my father. I'll marry you. Yada yada yada. And I wanted him to say,
My name is Paul Atreides.
I want my father back. You son of a bitch. And
Oh.
then stabs him. That's what I wanted so bad. But
No, he should have been like, my name is Paul Atreides. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Anybody want a peanut? Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist.
One other thing that was a little bit different, when Elvis fights the three people.
Like they're just calling out Elvis.
When Elvis fights the three people, in the book it's only one, and it's the only one that isn't drugged, because the other two are drugged.
Yeah.
So basically they drug him so that it's easy prey, he can kill him,
Yeah.
right? The one that isn't drugged, there's this whole like side story with this other character that's like, I don't even think in any of these movies. I'd have to watch the first one again to see if he's in there. But it's some of Baron Harkonnen's people that don't drug him because they're trying to scare the Baron Harkonnen. And so it was a little different because they made it seem like in this one that the Baron Harkonnen did it as like a birthday gift, like, I didn't drug him and stuff. So
What a nice uncle.
what a nice uncle.
So okay,
But that fight scene's cool.
yeah. My biggest complaint with this story is mostly the relationship between Paul and what's her name? Chani?
Chani, I think.
Is it Chani?
Chani? I think it's Chani.
Oh, I thought it was like Johnny, and I was like, Johnny.
It sounds like Johnny, but it's Chani.
Okay, we'll call her Chani, and if we're wrong, let us know in your 5-star review. I didn't love something about their relationship towards the end because there was so much conflict between them without them ever actually talking about it, really.
Well, but when they were first, there was like no conflict between them at all.
No, I know. And then
And
just
like they're
as,
sleeping together, and then all of a sudden it's like, I hate you now.
Yeah.
That's where it didn't make sense.
That was the big thing that I didn't like. Honestly, the rest of the story I did like, and it seemed much easier to follow than the first movie.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate because I'm not an intellectual. I have very low brain power. And so the simpler a story is, the better for me personally, which is why I really love Star Wars.
I agree with that.
I do not need an overly complicated movie.
No.
So I did otherwise really like the story and the way that they paced the movie, even though I do agree that it was long, but I do like basically everything that they included in the movie.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I would probably give the story probably a 188,
Okay.
I'd say.
I'll do a 146.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty low for you.
I mean, that's 150's average.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
that's pretty high for
Yeah.
it was long.
Yeah.
It was long. It felt a little dragged out.
Fair.
In quite a few places. But that might also be because after I read the book, I was not excited for this because I was bored already.
As long as it's not as long as the book. Okay, acting. Who did it for you and who didn't?
Josh Brolin, dude.
He's great.
He did it for me.
I've loved him I've loved him in everything I've seen him in.
Everything I've seen him in.
My only issue is once you're Thanos and you don't change your voice very much, I can only hear Thanos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that takes away too much,
No,
but
I
I do.
get it.
I do think about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm like, oh, that's Thanos.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to come back from that.
I guess where he did so well as Cable and Deadpool.
Yeah.
I've kind of gone away from that.
Okay.
But him just like side shot of just killing everybody, just like walking up was like,
Yeah.
bro.
He's cool.
I wrote
man.
down, get him, Thanos.
See, you're like,
I know.
you're like, yeah, I don't think about Thanos. You're like, get him, Thanos.
No, I didn't say I don't think about it.
Oh.
It's just,
Yeah. It doesn't do anything.
yeah. It's like Daniel Radcliffe. I mean,
That's fair.
Seeing,
Yeah.
seeing him in the Lost City, it's
I
hard to
just
not
watched
think of Harry Potter.
Now You See Me 2,
Mhm.
and he's a bad
Yeah.
guy in that. And we were actually talking about how he, like, you realize he's Harry Potter, but I never think about him being Harry Potter when I see him in other movies. Maybe it's just
Yeah.
because he has a beard,
Yeah.
but for some reason you think that that's somebody who would be stuck there forever as Harry
He's
Potter.
still a
And-
little stuck
and he
sometimes.
is kind of stuck, but it still works for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Jungle that we should watch at some
Okay.
point that he's in that's really good.
Cool.
So, Timothy Chalamet, I thought did well. When
Yeah.
he kind of had to be a little bit more leader, I didn't buy it a lot of the times.
It's hard because he does not have a threatening presence.
He's not a commanding force
at all. No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's too, I don't even think it's that he's small, although
No.
that might be part of it. He's very skinny. He's very, very skinny. And what I think about is Star Wars. And I just want to point this out real quick. In episode 2,
Okay.
Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker, he's very skinny,
Yeah.
right? He gets a little dark and stuff. Between episode 2 and episode 3, George Lucas made him put on 25 pounds of muscle so that he would be an imposing force. And he feels stronger when you watch that movie. He feels
Yeah.
like a more imposing
Yeah.
person. And that I think that there's a reason people bulk up for roles, right?
yeah.
And so I do think that could be a part of it. And I just also think there's something about his face that is more emo than
leaderly.
than leader. Yeah, leaderly.
Leaderly.
Lederhosen.
Leaderly. That's
But-
a word, right?
I think sometimes when he'd get angry, he did pretty good. Like when
Yeah,
he'd yell
yeah.
at people, I'm like, oh, like,
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah.
But I agree that it's just he's not as commanding.
And maybe it was just because it was such a flip,
Yeah.
which in theory it is because he drinks the holy water and then can see in the future.
Yeah.
So then he has that commanding
Magic.
force.
And I think I kept expecting, because of partially how his character has been and partially just how he is as a person, I kept expecting him when he'd say something crazy like, "None of you can stand against me." And then I was expecting him to just be like, "Just kidding." Like I was, I thought something like that was gonna come, where he's like, "No, you guys know that I'm just here to fight for you." Like I don't know. And so I think in that aspect, it just didn't feel super commanding.
That makes sense. Zendaya did Zendaya.
Yeah. She's good.
She's good, yeah.
She
she's
is
great.
good.
Yeah.
But does she have range? I'd like to see it sometime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is she's never, at least what I've seen, she's never been in anything where she's really the full lead.
Yeah.
She's always a side character.
Yeah. And she's
right?
never happy.
She's never happy.
Ever.
Other than when she's swinging around with Zac Efron and
Yeah.
Greatest Showman.
She's rewriting them stars, bruh. Okay. Rebecca Ferguson is so creepy and so good.
Yeah, she did great.
She did really
good.
good.
Yeah.
She like stood out to me this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin Butler, he didn't sell me.
He did actually for me.
Okay.
Only in the creepy aspect because he's already creepy.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like he was creepy. It felt like his character was creepy.
That's fair.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I didn't get creepiness from him.
Yeah.
As an actor. It was just his character was creepy.
I get that.
Like Bill Skarsgård as the It Clown, he feels creepy because he's freaking acts creepy as him. He just felt like, I'm a creepy guy, so I'm gonna play a creepy guy.
That's fair.
Cool.
You ain't nothing but a hound.
He had more of a imposing force than Timothy Chalamet.
He did,
though.
and he's kind of jacked. He was kind of surprisingly jacked. I was like, okay, good for you, Austin Butler.
Yeah.
You got shredded for this. Well, Timothy Chalamet stayed in the stick bug category.
No, he couldn't get too jacked for Wonka.
Can you imagine Wonka comes out just like sleeveless robe?
Like Hugh Jackman.
He's like,
just
what's up? Oompa loompa doompity do. Okay, can I tell you who didn't do it for me?
Okay.
Christopher Walken as the Emperor. Terrible choice.
Yeah.
Look, Christopher Walken is
great.
Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
But you can't just put him anywhere and be like, oh, but it's Christopher Walken. He can play whatever he wants to play. No, not in this role. I would have liked to see, I don't know, somebody different as the Emperor, like John Goodman. Just kidding. I don't know.
I mean,
like who's what's his name? What's the guy's name who's in Tron and Iron Man?
Oh, Gerald. No.
Oh my gosh.
No. Oh my gosh.
What is his name?
I know what you're talking about.
Say it out loud. Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges, thank you. I was thinking Gerald Butler, and I'm like, that's not it.
I don't know, just somebody kind of more like that. Christopher Walken just does not seem like a leading a galaxy type of guy.
So can I actually tell you, it didn't work for me, but because I read the book, it actually worked a little bit for me.
Interesting. Okay.
Because in the book, which they don't showcase this really at all in the movie, the Reverend Mother, the black one, she's not black, but the black clothing one that's next to the Emperor, she is basically guiding him through everything.
Okay.
So the Emperor is kind of not like an idiot, but he's not a great emperor, and
he's a puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that makes sense. Okay.
It almost worked in a way for me because he didn't seem like an emperor type, but that was what he was supposed to be.
What about like David Spade or Adam Sandler though?
Can you imagine Adam Sandler? Just bring the mullet back
Owen
from
Wilson.
Singer.
We just somebody, Steve Carell.
Oh, it should have been Owen Wilson, okay?
Oh, wow.
He kills Elvis, and he goes to kiss her, and he's like, wow.
Oh, wow. That's a nice ring you got there. Ka-chow. Okay, also, Dave Bautista. Look, he can only play one character well, and it's Drax. Everybody else, he can't do it.
No.
He's never going to be able to act.
Not great.
No, he's not. He's pretty bad.
It was good he didn't have a lot of lines in this.
I could almost guarantee you he is 5'3". Hold on. Because he just so short, which I honestly do think. And look, I'm not tall, but
he's like a Tom
It
Cruise.
hurts him a little bit. If they don't even list his height on Google, he's short because he's like, take that down.
Mm-hmm.
No way He is 6'4".
Yeah, I was gonna say he's totally tall.
No, that's huge. Why
Yeah.
does he feel like he's 5 feet tall?
I don't know why. Because
he's
I
so
don't think
wide.
that. Like in the Guardians, he always feels way taller.
Oh,
than
he always
everybody.
looks so tight. Like,
Oh,
I wanna
really?
squeeze-
Oh,
I wanna
that's so funny. I've
squeeze
never
his
thought
little
that way.
head. Okay. No, maybe I'm just wrong.
Yeah, he's Drax. It's like
Drax is perfect.
It's like Tom
dude.
Cruise. You take him out of Mission Impossible,
And
he's
Night and Day.
Not, yeah. But if they could have recreated
And Tropic
that,
Thunder.
okay. But that's like a few scenes.
I know.
Night and Day, you could have put somebody else in there.
No, for sure.
and it would have been better.
Yeah. I just,
Night and Day's fine.
yeah, he was in, did you ever see the second Knives Out?
No.
Glass Onion? He's in that. And again,
Not
it's just
great.
like,
And I
this is
didn't see.
whatever.
Was it Red Notice that he's in? Or that's The Rock.
That's The
No.
Rock.
It's the Amazon one with like the little girl.
Oh,
I never saw it. But it's like The Spy or something.
yeah, My Spy.
My Spy.
Yeah, I never saw that either. So he's like pretty bad. And then Florence Pugh also just didn't do it for me. I know
She never
her
does it
role
for me.
was her role was kind of meh. The
Yeah.
only two things I've seen her in that I truly did like her was Black Widow and
Don't worry, darling.
Don't Worry, Darling. Those are the two things I've seen her in. I'm like, this is great. I really like it. But
Yeah.
other than that, she's
Just kind of hit or
like
miss.
Oppenheimer. And I know those characters are super. They're just stale people. Like her
Yeah,
character
yeah.
in this movie is just like a person who says stuff.
Yeah.
That was her entire role in the
Yeah.
movie. So, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
The-
wait. But the dude,
Yeah.
the funny guy.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
Why was he so funny in
He
this
was
movie?
great.
He wasn't funny last movie.
No.
He was hilarious in this movie.
He was great.
I loved him. Whatever his name is.
Oh, Lisa Al Gaib.
He's so funny. Loved it.
So he did great. Zendaya was good. Timothy Chalamet was fine. Jessica Alba was awesome.
You say Jessica Alba?
Yeah, I was waiting for something.
What?
Rebecca Ferguson. Her name's Jessica. It's Jessica Alba. I was just.
No, her name is Rebecca Ferguson.
I know. I just said that.
Oh.
You said Jessica Chastain. Is that what you
Oh.
were? Yeah, I was.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just saying Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
'cause It was. Never mind.
I'm trying to figure out if the funny guy is in any other movies I've seen, but he's in The Little Mermaid, the live action. He's King Triton, actually.
Movie I never saw.
Lyle Lyle Crocodile, which I heard was really good. Home movie, The Princess Bride. He played Inigo Montoya. What is that?
What?
Anyway, I don't know. This is from 2020. I don't know what it is. Okay.
And then Josh Brolin.
Yeah, and then Josh Brolin.
Him and the funny guy were my highlights, and Rebecca Ferguson were my highlights. But that's also just because I really like Gurney Halleck in the book, and he played Gurney Halleck great in this movie.
That makes sense.
So
He did a good job.
I'll give it. I'll give it 174.
Okay. I was going to give it a 179.
Nice. I
Cool,
was
cool,
thinking
cool.
179.
Okay, let's talk about that score, though. Pretty good.
Him getting on the sandworm for the first time. Holy goodness. And
That
then
was
him
good.
just walking in between all the people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and the scene where when she's becoming the Reverend Mother and she's drinking the liquid,
Yeah.
there's like this cool song, bassy thing going on.
Yeah.
And then there's this, on top of that, there's like a clock ticking, but it almost feels like it's a clock ticking noise made by like a throat. Like someone's like,
Oh,
and it's so weird and cool. Oh, it was cool. I really liked that. It was like, ugh. I
Even
liked it
just
a
the
lot.
noise the funny guy made that one time. I was like, yeah, I was just like, ugh. That's Donald
Sounded like
Duck.
Donald Duck.
But honestly, the soundtrack was great, but just the sound design and the sound effects. Anytime somebody thumped on the sand, it was just like
Yeah.
pure joy in my brain.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, the sound design of the ships too is so good. The hum of the ship and then the flutter of the wings.
Yeah.
So so freaking cool, man. So good. The music at the gladiator scene too, when they're all coming out, that song was really dude. The music was so good.
It was so good.
It was so good. And then the last one I have is right after he says, "We're Harkonnens." There's this intense, like, throaty singing, like, build up kind of, just like, it's kind of almost in a way the classic music you'd hear right after someone's like, "That's the thing. I'm the bad guy." It's like, I
am Iron Man.
I am Iron Man. Bow, now. But yeah, so I thought the music and the sound design was phenomenal in the whole movie.
What are you going to give it?
Here's what's tough for me.
Okay.
All of the 200s that I have in my brain all have songs that have a melody that I can go back to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's songs that you can hum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This doesn't have that.
Yeah.
It's much
got
more. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
I don't care about that song very
okay.
much, but it's
cool.
much more ambient, ethereal, kind of what you'd expect from Dune. But that doesn't.
But you can't
that
just
doesn't
go
make
like
it any worse. You know, I can't.
I
do
get
that.
it. I get it.
But it is still super well
It's
written.
very good. I'll do 199.
Okay. I'm honestly trying to decide. The sound design is a 200.
Oh, 100%.
I'm also gonna give it a 199. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Something's gotta come out.
It's
and
like
be,
you said. I want to listen to this soundtrack again.
Yeah.
But then, you know, maybe I'll listen to it here and there.
Yeah.
But like I've listened to the Spider-Verse soundtrack way more already.
Yeah.
Because that one's just
That's a good one.
so good.
I think do you like the first Spider-Verse soundtrack better or the second?
So I like the second better because of all the different universe soundtracks. But I like the mainstream songs better in the first one.
Yeah, same. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
All right, Craig, what about your vibe? You didn't vibe with it a ton.
I vibed with it.
But but not as much.
But it was a little long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do 150.
Okay.
Just a solid 150.
I'm gonna give it a 200.
Nice.
Because it just did what I wanted it to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't even want it. Here's the thing. I didn't know what I wanted this to do. And then I did what I wanted it to do.
I guess I just wanted more.
That's fair.
There was just so many non-cool scenes in that movie.
They just need lightsabers, man. This movie proved what lightsabers needed to be. Okay, real quick, I just want to say this.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about this a lot, and I'm so sorry for anybody who's listening to this who hates Star Wars, Craig.
I didn't say I hate
No,
Star
I
Wars.
know. I just think, can you imagine if they came out with a Star Wars movie that was basically this movie with a little bit more action and just like lightsabers?
Yes.
Would that be the perfect movie if it was not as long?
Well, at that point, it could be long.
Because you add the Force.
John Wick was
Jedi.
3 hours long, John Wick 4, and I loved every second of it.
Why can't we get a Star Wars movie because this is PG-13.
Yeah.
It's not R, so why are they making these lame Disney-fied?
It was PG-13,
Star
and there
Wars
was more
movies.
brutal killings than I've seen in a lot of movies.
Yeah. A lot of throat slashing in this movie.
Yeah, and just like, let me see how this sword works. I'm going to kill these 3 women right here.
Yeah. Felt like a little bit much, Mr. Elvis. Anyway, I just think Star Wars really needs to take a lesson from this because this is what Star Wars fans want Star Wars to look
That
like.
would be...
It'd be so cool with like all those visuals and everything. Oh, it would be so good.
Yeah.
Oh, someday, maybe.
And not soap
When they sell-
opera story.
Yeah.
Not a soap opera story.
Yeah. Give us a plain old
cool
regular
story.
story. Okay. Well,
Oof.
what do you think you gave it, Mr. Craig?
Okay. $8.76.
That is really too bad. You gave it an 8.67.
Oh, dang it.
I probably gave it I don't remember what I gave some stuff. Well, 9.69. You don't think so?
Oh, I guess your acting was lower. Yeah, so you're probably pretty close.
9.66.
Oh, close.
Dang. Okay, Craig.
Yeah.
We get into box office. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know what the first one did?
No.
Do we want to look it up or do we want to not?
Oh, let's not look it up. Let's go on this blind.
We'll guess first and then we'll look it up because I'm curious. Ooh. See, I don't know if the first one was in the mid, because I don't think it was 100 million. That's my guess.
No, I think it was around
mid?
4.
Oh, that's lower than I kind of thought.
I think it was around 4.
Okay.
But I don't know if that was worldwide. Yes.
Okay.
It was.
Okay.
But
I have my number.
But it was during COVID.
I have my number.
Oh my gosh. I do not know. This movie could be huge. So if you take the square root of pi, you times it by 84, and you divide it by 1.
What is the square root of pi, Craig? Do you know what it is?
1 point something.
It's true. 1.5. No,
Yeah.
it's lower than that.
No, it'd be 1 point. It would technically be 1.57. No, that
No.
wouldn't be. No, yeah.
That's half of it.
Yeah, that's half of it.
You need multipliers.
You need multipliers.
It's like 1.3 something.
Oh my gosh. You have your number already? I
Yeah.
do not know.
Because I just go with my gut, though. You're smarter than I am.
Not really. I sometimes win. I don't always. Okay.
Oh, it's 1.77. That seems high. 1.7 times 1.7? Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay.
Because you're doing decimals.
Yeah, I'm just dumb. Are you ready? Come on, Craig. We gotta go.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go first. You go second.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 6, 10.
932.
$932? Is that 932,000 or million?
No, billion.
You know what? You're probably going to be way more right.
I don't know.
Your 400 number got in my head, and now we're going to look up what the first one did. It's going to be like 1.1 billion. I'm
No,
like,
it
I'm a
definitely
total
didn't.
idiot.
It definitely didn't hit a billion.
Dune box office. Mojo. Dune 2021. Yeah, it did 433
Okay.
worldwide.
I was going to say
You think it's
432.
going to double?
So it was during COVID.
Yeah, kind of.
No,
It's so late in COVID.
not really.
This came out like
2021?
This came out like when No Way Home came out.
But it was still before No Way Home. No Way Home.
By a month.
No Way Home is what brought back.
Yeah, but
the
this was
movies.
a month before.
Well, right.
Yeah, but No Way Home did 3 times as much as this.
Yeah.
4 times.
No, it did 5 times. It was almost
Didn't
2
it
bill.
do 1.6?
Oh, that was like 1.9.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe it was 1.6.
So I don't know.
There's what else? Okay, there's a lot coming out.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda and Godzilla versus King
Yeah.
Kong.
This did 100 million domestic and 320 international. It was 75% international.
Okay, so I definitely think it's going to hit that then.
Interesting.
What did it open with? Does it have any box office predictions?
Let me see.
Bet you it's going to
Domestic opening
That's just gonna have, like,
41 million.
like for the weekend?
I don't know.
That seems low.
I don't know. Okay, hold on. I have to know something.
What do you have to know?
Okay. This, I think, came out after No Way Home.
No Way Home was like November.
This was October 22nd, 2021.
Yeah. No
Hold
Way Home was November.
No Way Home. Oh, it's December. Okay.
Oh, December. Yeah.
Okay. Fine, Craig. Very interesting. Should we check how we're doing on Argyle?
Yeah. You won.
Did I?
Yeah. I think it's like right around where you guessed right now.
Okay, so I guessed.
You guessed like 86 or something.
I guessed 84,
Okay.
and you guessed 53.
Yeah. I think it's like in the 80s.
Oh yeah, 88.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Not bad.
So
Not
props
too
to
shabby.
you.
Thank you. I'm the winner again for the third time in a row.
shut up.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Shut up.
Any final thoughts on Dune?
No.
Well,
It was a movie.
it was a movie, and I think it was great, and Craig thought it was a movie.
It was more than just a movie. It was good.
Yeah.
Visually, sound design.
Visually
awesome.
really cool. Go watch it in a big screen.
Yeah. Go watch it on big screen.
Okay. Well, everybody, we love you.
Yep.
And that's the way that cookie crumbles.
Yeah. So join us next week for Reverend Egos, our chalk. Toilets in only. All I can think of is other words that we've used. Like Nebula, Nebraska.
What about Nana?
Nana? Toilets only in Nana?
Toilets in open Nana.
Toilets in open Nana.
We need to expand our
We need to expand our vocabulary. Oh, man. Technology is my entirety.
Oh, cute. Okay, folks. We'll see you next week for another movie.
Something.
Bye.